Hello students, welcome to the video tutorial series on JavaScript, and in this particular video we are going to concentrate on session 2, that is the overview of JavaScript. So let's get started. Today's learning objectives are layers of web page and what is the main syntax of JavaScript and how to write it. And before starting writing the program of JavaScript, what do you need things to be known and where to place this particular script tag that we are going to write, and even we are going to concentrate on external JavaScript file, so which is somewhat new to you, so we'll be concentrating on that also. So first, about the layers of web page. As you already know, layers of web page, the main layer is HTML. So without HTML, nothing will arise. So HTML is a main source where it provides only the content. Content means what? It doesn't describe anything in detail. It only displays whatever you write, it will display as it is. If you write in a h1 tag, it will display as a heading, that's it. But if you want to give some style or kind of behaviors, it doesn't work, only with HTML. So in short, we can say HTML is like a skeleton of a web page. It doesn't have any kind of style or behaviors. No, if I want to provide a style for that, then I have to go with CSS. Now CSS provides a style. CSS stands for cascading style sheets, which it provides the style. So about these two things we have already seen in our first two units. And later, now we are going to concentrate on JavaScript. This JavaScript is mainly used to provide the behavior of a particular web page. So behavior means what? If I have a button, if I have a text box, if I type something, if I click something, there must be some response from my web page that the user has clicked it, the user has submitted the application, something like that. Some kind of behavior must be existing in the web page. That gives us the dynamism. So if you want to exhibit that dynamism, now we are using JavaScript. It doesn't mean that we have only JavaScript to give behavior. We also have VBScript, ASP, PHP. We have many things. But since in our curriculum we have JavaScript, we'll be concentrating only on that. And now, what will be the syntax of JavaScript? How to write the syntax of any JavaScript program? First, as you already seen in our first unit, the JavaScript must be provided under the script tag, and this script tag you have to provide under the head section in HTML page. And this script tag uses two main attributes. First one is language. Language means it specifies which scripting language are you using. So you can use any kind of scripting languages like JavaScript, VBScript, ASP, anything you can use. So in this particular curriculum, since we use JavaScript, we will be giving language equal to JavaScript. And later, the second one, which is more familiar to you, that is a type attribute, and it is optional. So in majority of the web browsers, people started using type. So type indicates the MIME type. So many people will be using the type attribute rather than language attribute. So even you can use language attribute also or type attribute also to define what kind of language, scripting language are you using. So you can see the syntax below that: script language equal to JavaScript you can use, or either type equal to text slash JavaScript. So in our classes, we have been concentrating on type equal to text slash JavaScript. So we didn't concentrate on language equal to JavaScript. So it is up to you. Any attribute you can use either language or type. But some browsers doesn't accept language equal to JavaScript. So all the web browsers accepts this type equal to text slash JavaScript. So we stick on to type equal to text slash JavaScript. I hope you understood that. So before starting writing the program in JavaScript, you need to know some of the things. The first one is semicolons. So as we know, semicolon is used for terminating a particular line. Yes, here also it's the same. But here we have around two options. That is, when the semicolon is optional. When the semicolon is optional, then because the statement is provided in a separate line. If you provide your statements in a separate line, at that point of time, the semicolons are optional. But if you provide the statements in the same line, then it becomes required. So if you provide the statements in the same line, then you have to provide semicolon, that is required. If you provide the statements in a separate line, that is optional. But my suggestion is, please practice giving semicolons. That is a good approach in writing a program. And the second one is case sensitive. Already we have seen in the features. So JavaScript is case sensitive. So we have to remember that whichever keywords or loops, whichever we use, make sure that it is case sensitive. We have to give it properly, or else we'll end up in errors. And the third one is comments. And in C language, we have studied about comments the same manner. The single line comment in JavaScript will be 2 forward slash, and the multi-line comment will be a forward slash followed by an asterisk and then forward slash. So this is the same comment which we used in C and C++, and obviously we know that HTML comment goes on with the exclamation angular bracket and then exclamation mark and then two hyphens, ends with two hyphens and angular bracket. So these are the comments that we can use in our JavaScript. So the first two things are used in the JavaScript, and the third one is used only in HTML. You can't use the same HTML comment in JavaScript, it doesn't work. I hope you understood this. Now, where to place this script tag? In which position? Now, script tag can be placed in all three areas. That is, either in head alone you can place, or in body alone you can place, or in both head as well as body you can place. So there are three options available. If you place only in head, it is mostly used by most of the programmers. Till now, even in the classrooms, we have used only in the head section. The script tag is used only in the head section. That is the correct way of using the script tag. But also there is an opportunity that you can even use script tag in body section. So in order to write the script tag in the body section, that will also work. But my suggestion is please use only in the head section. And the third one is either you can use both in head as well as body in the same program. That is also available. And one more important thing, the script tag can be placed in two different areas. That is internally as well as externally. So script tag, if you want to place internally inside a HTML file, then you have to use script tag inside the head section or body section or anywhere. But if you want to use it externally, then you have to specify again the same script tag with an attribute. That I will be showing in the next slide. So I want to tell here is that you can use a script tag anywhere in the head section or body section, but my suggestion is it is better to use under the head section only, so that it is a correct approach of writing a program. And now we'll see about the external file. Just now we have seen in the previous slide externally how to provide. So for that we will be checking out. And if you want to create an external JavaScript file, again you need to use the same script tag. You have to use the same script tag. And one more important thing, you have to save the JavaScript file with the .js. Once you please rewind with our second unit, in that you can just see that if I want to save an external style sheet file, I have to save with .css. Hope you remember. Yes. So similarly here, if I want to save an external JavaScript file, then I have to use the extension .js. And as I already said, we are going to use script tag in both internally or externally. But in externally, you will be using one attribute known as src. So this src attribute is nothing but the source attribute. In that source attribute, we'll be giving the file name which you give here using the .js. So I'll be showing you this practically so that you can understand it more better. Now we'll get back to the program. So now we'll see a small program in order to understand how to use the script tag and how to write a first JavaScript program. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my start menu and go to my editor. So in my computer I have the brackets editor. We have many advanced editors. So I like personally this brackets editor, which is more good. So I'll be using this brackets editor. It doesn't mean that you must also use the same thing. You have many text editors available in internet. You can download any one of them and use. So I'm just going to file and clicking new. So I got my new document. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type my HTML. So before typing HTML and other things, first save your file. So I'm going to save as. I'm going to save in the desktop, and I'm going to give the file name as sample.html. So this is the file name which I gave, sample.html, and inside this I'm going to create the head section. Inside the head section I'm going to create a script tag. First I'll be using internally, later I'll be showing you externally. So internally I'm going to use type equals text slash JavaScript, which we already seen. This is the main type. So now I'm not going to write anything here. So first what I'm going to do is first I'm going to create my body section. So I'll be creating my body section. Inside the body section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a form tag. And for form I'll give a name equals f1 something, and then I'm going to create just one button, input type equals text, sorry, input type equals button. I'll create a button first, then I'll give a value for that. Value is equal to anything like click me. So that's it. I'll just close this button. I've created a form. Inside the form, I've created a button, and I'll be closing my HTML file also. Now, if you can see here, inside the script tag, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function in order to call this. So I've created a button here. Now I'm going to create a function. You can use any function name. For example, call me function. You can use anything. For example, I am using call me. So inside this, I'm going to print a statement. So I'm going to print a statement like document dot write. If you want, it is just similar to your printf statement which you have used in your C language and in C++ cout statement. So similarly, if you want to write something, print something on the screen, then you can use document.write. And here I'm just writing here welcome. I'm just writing a statement known as welcome here. That's it. So I'll just save this. Now I'm executing my file, and you can see in the browser over here. Here I have my file sample. So here I'll just open this with Google Chrome, and if you can see here in Chrome, you have the output over here. If I just click on click me, I cannot get any kind of output over here. Why? Because in my program you can see here, just minimize this browser window, and you can see here we can't execute anything. Why? Because there is no connectivity. I created a button and I created a function, but I'm not able to get the output. Why? Because there is no connection. So for that I have to give an event handler. So what kind of event handler? We have many kinds of event handler. So when I click the button, I have to get some reaction. So for that purpose, I'm giving on click is the event handler equals. So what is the function name? Call me. Just you have to provide that within the double quotes. So what it means, when I click this button, whenever I click this button, which function must be called, or call me function must be called. Where is the call me function? Here is the call me function. Inside that, what I have written, document.write welcome. So that welcome will be displayed in the output screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to file, save it. After I'm saving it, just I'll open my browser. I can open in Chrome itself. Now if you see here, when I just click on this, I can get the output here as welcome. So from that we can observe that whenever when I refresh this here, when I click on this, it is changing to welcome. So from this we can observe that we have written a program in order to establish some kind of behaviors. So this is an internal JavaScript. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an external JavaScript. So, and I already said external JavaScript, if you want to create, you have to use the src attribute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this into src equals. I'm going to remove this text / JavaScript. src equals the file name which I'm going to give. So before the file name I have to give, I'll just close this because I'm not going to give any file name as of now. And this whole function, I'm just going to cut it. And again, I'm going to create one new file. In that new file, I'll be just pasting this whole function. In the new file, I'm going to paste this function which I've written just now. Fine. So nothing I did over here. What I did is from this file, that function part alone, I have cut it and I kept it in a separate file. Okay. Now I'm going to save this file with a name like any name you can give. For example, call.js. I'm giving call.js, and I already said in the slide you have to save with extension .js. So I'm giving the file name as call.js, and then I'm clicking on save. Now you can see in the desktop over here a JavaScript file has been created. To verify this, just right click on that and properties. You can see over here it is a JavaScript file. From this we can come to know that is a JavaScript file, and the icon looks like this. Now what will happen is, now I have to go here and click on this script tag, and that src I have to provide the file name. Now what file I have to provide? The file name which I have created now, call.js. I have to provide that file, and that's it. That's it. I noticed one point very clearly. I didn't provide any function inside my HTML. I just created a file and I given that in the src tag, src attribute. Now that's all I did. Now I'm going to execute again my web browser. I'll again refresh this. Now you see this, when I click me, again I'm getting the same output without any difference. So from that we can make sure that external file will also work. And I already said this document.write will just print on the screen. To be give further more, there is also alert window. I'll just make a change, alert. If I want to display some alert messages, alert, and then I can write like hello, something I'm writing inside the alert message. Now I'm refreshing this. Now if you click me, you can see that this page says hello. You'll get that message over there. This is the alert message which you can receive. So from that we can understand that even normal internally JavaScript file works, even the JavaScript file works externally also using the src attribute. But most of the companies across the world will be going for this external JavaScript file rather than internal JavaScript file, because external CSS file will be very useful for them to write the programs and logics. Even external JavaScript file will also be very useful for them to do that. So most of the programmers will prefer only the external JavaScript as well as CSS file. I hope you understood this. Now we'll get back to the slides. Fine, we came to the end of this particular session. So in the next session, we'll be seeing about the building blocks of JavaScript. I hope so this session was very useful to you and you have learned the program, how to write a JavaScript program, and how to create an external JavaScript file, and about all these things you have learned in this particular session. So next session we will meet. Until then, bye. Thank you.